Understanding Ohio OVI Citations and Administrative License Suspensions, ALS. When you receive an OVI citation in Ohio and either test over the legal limit or refuse chemical testing, the police officer will retain your driver's license. This begins what's known as an Administrative License Suspension, ALS, which is automatically imposed by the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. Although an experienced attorney can challenge the ALS, the suspension remains in effect unless overturned. The suspension begins with a mandatory period called a hard suspension, during which no driving privileges are permitted. The duration of this hard suspension depends on two factors: your prior OVI history and whether you submitted to testing. For a first OVI offense, the hard suspension period lasts 15 days if you tested over the legal limit, or 30 days if you refuse testing. If you have a second OVI within 10 years, the hard suspension extends to 45 days for testing over the limit, or 90 days for test refusal. Even if the ALS challenge is unsuccessful, a knowledgeable DUI attorney may petition the court to stay the suspension, effectively putting it on hold until case resolution. Courts vary in their willingness to grant such stays. Some courts may grant the stay, but impose their own interim suspension with modified conditions for driving privileges that differ from the original ALS terms. Obtaining driving privileges after the hard suspension period requires filing a formal motion with the court. These privileges are not automatically granted, as judges have considerable discretion in determining both if and when to issue them. Courts typically require proof of insurance and documentation supporting the need for driving privileges, such as employer verification letters or pay stubs. Driving privileges come with significant restrictions. Courts cannot authorize commercial driving requiring a CDL license. While policies vary by jurisdiction, privileges are generally limited to occupational purposes, educational activities, vocational training, medical appointments, driver's license examination attendance, and court-ordered treatment participation. Courts may impose additional requirements such as specialized DUI license plates or ignition interlock devices that require breath testing before vehicle operation. The complexity of license suspensions underscores why individuals should not attempt self-representation or rely on attorneys inexperienced in DUI defense. Professional DUI defense attorneys systematically challenge suspensions while working to secure the earliest possible driving privileges with minimal restrictions for their clients. For assistance with an Ohio OVI charge, contact the law offices of Brian J. Smith at 800-641-1970 for a free initial consultation.